Hey guys, welcome to the CAGED system lesson series. So in these videos what we are going to accomplish is obviously talking about the CAGED system, understanding why it's called the CAGED system, what information it puts at our fingertips, and then most importantly how to utilize that information. Just a side note, for those of you who don't read music or don't care to learn to read music, I would say that's the number one way of learning your notes on the neck. And getting really secure about that information. But with my students, for those who don't want to learn to read, and that's not a skill that they're wanting to develop, but they are interested in understanding more about the guitar neck, the CAGED system is a great approach to that, and that's exactly how we're going to utilize it, to understand it from the perspective of notes, scales, scale degrees, chords, so on and so forth. So we use it in many different ways. This video is going to be very fundamental, very basic. We're just going to demonstrate where the name comes from, and then how that information connects across the fretboard, which is basically the whole point of the system. So the CAGED system, C-A-G-E-D, gets its name from the chords that we play in open position. So we have a C major chord, an A major chord, a G major chord, an E major chord, and a D major chord. So in this open first position, that doesn't really mean much for the CAGED system itself, but those are the chord shapes that everything else that we're going to be playing is based on. And what I mean by that is each of these chords can be turned into a bar chord. So I'm going to play the open version of the chord, and then I'm going to shift everything up into fifth position to show you how each one of those would be played. So we have a C major chord. Now I'm going to shift this up into fifth position. I have to change the way that I play, or the way that I position my fingers, because here we can use open strings. Strings 3 and 1 are open, but then I have to compensate for that when I'm going to play that same chord. There's the C shape right there, in another position on the neck. So now my finger is doing the job of the nut here, right? So it's no longer open. So that's what C major would look like in another position, the C shape. This is actually an F major chord. So I have finger 4 on string 5 fret 8, finger 3 on string 4 fret 7, finger 2 on string 2 fret 6, and then I'm barring strings 3 and 1 with finger 1. Now the A major shape, and we shift that up into fifth position. And just to demonstrate that, I'm going to slide these fingers straight up the neck here to the 7th fret. So you see that that chord shape is related, but now my finger 1 has to come down to play the same role as the nut here. So here I'm just sitting on top of the nut. Sorry, my alarm is going off. I'm just going to lay my finger down here, and I'm going to shift everything up 1 fret at a time, so you can see that those shapes are related. And this is kind of crammed up in this position, so a lot of times I'll play it with the 3rd finger laying down there. Then we have our G chord. So we have 3 strings here that are open in the open G position here, the open G chord, that we have to bar. Now admittedly, the full bar version of this is kind of ridiculous to play, and I don't get any use out of that, honestly, but it's good for visualization purposes and learning everything that we're going to learn. But I'll still demonstrate it. And even though we don't play the full bar chord, I definitely play pieces of the bar chord. It's just not a friendly shape. So I'm going to bar at the 5th fret here on strings 4, 3, and 2, and then finger 3 is on string 6 fret 8, finger 2 is on string 5 fret 7, barring 4, 3, 2, and then my pinky is on string 1 fret 8. It's really stretched out and not comfortable at all. You can get it to come out, but to like jump into that shape is pretty difficult. Anyways, and then we have the E major shape. And to demonstrate the same thing as I did with the A chord, I'm going to change my fingering on the E major chord here and just lay my finger down across the nut there, and then slide the shape up. So E major, and then we're just going to slide that up 1 fret at a time, everything shifting accordingly. And there I have actually an A major chord. I'm barring across the 5th fret. Got string finger 3 on string 5 fret 7, finger 4 on string 4 fret 7, finger 2 on string 3 fret 6, and then string 6, 2, and 1 are barred. And then last but not least, we have the D major chord. And then in 5th position, this is going to look like this. Also kind of a tricky one to get into initially. So I've got, it's not even really a bar chord because my index finger is only pressing 1 string down. So finger 1 on string 4 fret 5, finger 2 on string 3 fret 7, finger 4 on string 2 fret 8, and finger 3 on string 1 fret 7. So just to give you a little bit of background, where the CAGED name came from, all from our open position chords, and then what we're going to be doing with those chord shapes is playing them as bar chords. And some of those are tricky to get into, but you want to try and just kind of paint a picture in your mind's eye as much as you can with this stuff, because it's not, I mean, it is about playing it, but it's not so much about just playing it. We have to be able to see it, and that's a very important idea. So we'll demonstrate how these chords connect across the fingerboard in the next video. See you then. Thanks a lot.